Hi guys, welcome to our channel, or welcome back to our channel. Yeah, welcome. Hope your week was great.
So this week we are starting off with our first book for our first month's theme. Just to remind you, this month's theme is books that made us love reading. So books that we read as kids that we really enjoyed. Yeah, let's get started.
All right, so the book I chose is The Magic Treehouse, or Magic Treehouse. And I have my little notes here. So the book is by Mary Pope Osborne. She is the main author for, let's see, it has 34 books in the entire series, plus a couple extra. And then sorry, I have to hurry and pull up. But anyway, so there are 34 books in the series according to the Teachers Club Guide, which is a website that they offer for teachers, because Magic Treehouse is actually a very informational way to read for, like, on a kid's level that keeps them really entertained. The specific book I read was Mummies in the Morning. It is book number 3 out of the 34 books. And oh, well, I don't have it. Never mind then. But it's basically about this boy and a girl, their brother and sister, named Jack and Annie. And they find this magic tree house in the middle of the woods, which I thought about, if a kid was to find that today, it would be like, yeah, stay away from there. But, you know, it is what it is. And basically, this tree house is full of books. And when they pick a book, they're able to say, like, I wish I was in this book, and they go inside of it and they get to experience the book firsthand. The first book, they get to go back with dinosaurs, and so that's pretty fun. And it's a fun way to get little kids interested in reading, but also it can coincide with some lessons. So like when you're talking about dinosaurs, like you can read the book, the dinosaur book, or I don't know what it's called, but you can read that book, and it has words that would help your lesson along. It's very teacher-centered. If you go to magictreehouse.com, they have a teachers club, and in the teachers club, they literally have like study plans, and lesson plans. They have ways to do interactive activities that coincide with the book and coincide with the lesson that you're trying to do, which I thought that was really great. But anyway, yeah, so another thing is, they, throughout the book, they kind of find clues on who, or throughout the series, sorry, they find clues on who the owner of the treehouse is. So that's kind of another little mystery added in it. Yeah, and like I said, the website has various activities. And on the website as well, it says who the author is, who the illustrator of all of the pictures are. And then they do have other things. I want to say they have a play, a Magic Treehouse play, that either her husband or her Mary Pope Osborne's sister helped create. But I thought it was really cool. It's a fun way to get little kids interactive, and it's a fun way to teach a lesson. And two, I like books like this. So there's my book that I chose this week.
Cool. Okay, so I chose Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. If you can see that. I chose this book because it's one that I could remember checking out from my elementary school library like multiple times. It was really popular in my school, at least. I think there was like a wait list to check it out because it was super popular at that time. So, the title is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's by Alvin Schwartz. It was originally published in 1981, and they added the illustrations in 2011. And there's a movie now. In 2019, they came out with a movie. I tried to watch the trailer and I couldn't handle it. It was scary. So I don't know if I'll be watching that anytime soon. But yeah. So it's a collection of scary stories. There's 5 chapters that kind of group together similar types of stories. The first one is called Ah, and it's like jump scares. So it's stories that you can like tell your friends, and then at a certain point you're supposed to like scream or jump at them and scare them. The second chapter is he heard footsteps coming up the cellar stairs, and those are ghost stories. The third chapter is they eat your eyes, they eat your nose, and that was like miscellaneous. It kind of just seemed like a junk drawer. Anything that doesn't fit somewhere else goes in here. Other dangers, which are urban legends. And then the last chapter is Ah, again, but these are stories that make you laugh. So I think the urban legends were by far the scariest because I remember hearing those like as a kid and as a teenager. They were things that people told us all the time, and like scary stories that people told at sleepovers and stuff like that. And there's one. It's called High Beams, and I remember it to this day. It's about this girl. She's going home from like a school dance. It's really late or something. She gets in her car and starts on her way home, and this truck is following her. And she's like, oh, maybe we're just going to the same place. But this truck keeps following her, even as she takes like roundabout roads and roads that nobody's ever on. And then he will turn on his high beams. And she thinks he's trying to pass her or something, and he never does. He just stays like right behind her with his high beams on the whole time. So she pulls into her house and jumps out of her car, freaking out. Her dad comes running out of the house to check on her, and the guy in the truck pulls up behind her and gets out and tells her that some guy climbed into the back seat of her car while she was in the school parking lot. And every time he could see the guy moving in the back of the car, he'd turn on his high beams. So now anytime I'm driving and somebody turns on their high beams, I'm like, I'm going to be murdered. Okay. Like, I've just mentally prepared myself. So that one scared me a lot. The urban legend ones are super creepy. I know they were really popular in my school. Everybody liked to tell them to like scare each other. But yeah, I really enjoyed that book in elementary school. It's kind of what originally got me interested in like ghost stories and stuff like that. I'm not super into like horror, but paranormal and stuff like that I am. And I to this day I really enjoy like paranormal stories and stuff like that. And this is kind of the book that got that started. So yeah, it's a really good book. Kind of scary. Honestly, it's not the stories that are scary. There are some really creepy illustrations. So, not for the faint of heart, but it is definitely, it's kid friendly. So, yeah, I would definitely suggest that for anybody. I really enjoyed it.
Yes. And honestly, that story that you told, the high beams, that one has scarred me for life. Like at night, I feel so afraid to get in my car by myself because then I have to like do a check and make sure no one's gonna murder me on the way home.
I do when I walk to my car, the first thing I do is check the back seat. To this day, all the time, even if it's daylight, I check the back seat. That's the first thing I do. My mom taught me that though, so I always do that.
Yes. Um, yeah, anyway, those are our books for this week. I didn't go into too much detail of mine. It talks about mummies and pyramids. Like, it's not, I mean, it's really interesting. And it has like sarcophagus and it explains the word sarcophagus, and it has like pyramids and it explains what a pyramid is. Like, it just is very informational, but in a fun way. So maybe I should have explained that a little bit better, but hindsight's 2020. So anyway, I think that wraps it up for this week's books. Yeah, and then next week we'll be back here with our second, both of our second favorite books that made us fall in love with reading. So anyway, we hope you guys have a great week, and we hope you join us next week. Bye.
Bye.